This is so weird. I haven't filmed a video in so long, so I am a little nervous. No, I'm just kidding. Hey guys, what's up? I'm back on YouTube. I'm back on my channel. Hope you guys are having a really good day today. I am back. Finally, I've posted videos here and there, you know, the last few weeks, but fun fact, those 3 to 4 videos were pre-filmed. So I actually haven't filmed a YouTube video in like a little bit over a month ago. So this is the longest time I've gone without filming a video. So it kind of feels a little bit strange in the best way possible though. Like I missed posting so much. I was going crazy, you know, during recovery. So I'm assuming most of you guys already know this if you follow me on social media, that I recently underwent corrective jaw surgery. Today actually marks exactly 1 month ago. So it's been quite an extensive recovery. I am gonna get into that today and just kind of talk about my experience, what I went through. I'm just so excited to be back and be, you know, talking and have my energy back. And you know, so I'm really excited. You guys are noticing, of course, my face might be a little bit different. People have said that my profile is what changed the most, which is obviously, you know, I feel the biggest difference in my face. You don't know how much it helped me when I looked at people's videos from their experience with double jaw surgery or blog posts of people undergoing the surgery. So I know, and I hope this video can help some of you guys out there that are going to have this surgery or are thinking about getting it, or, you know, you're recovering from it. It really, really helps a lot. So I just hope I can help at least one person out there. Now, if you guys are new to my channel, like I said, I underwent double jaw surgery, corrective jaw surgery. In medical terms, I will pull out the paper right here. It's a long one. It is Lefort 1 3-piece maxillary osteotomy, bilateral sagittal split mandibular osteotomy with titanium mesh bone plate fixation. And in addition, I got extracted 4 teeth. So basically I got like a mouth makeover. Pretty crazy, huh? I basically was born with an abnormality. My upper jaw was underdeveloped, so it was farther back than a regular bite. So your teeth should be in front of your lower jaw, you know what I mean? And I was actually really good at hiding it. You guys probably noticed, probably didn't. That's why you guys never saw my side profile in videos, if you notice and look back, because I was very self-conscious about it. And I never smiled in pictures because my underbite. In addition to my underdeveloped upper jaw, I had an overdeveloped lower jaw. So while my upper jaw was farther back than normal, my lower jaw was farther out than normal. Some people have it more extreme, some people have it a little less extreme. I had a really awful bite, to be honest. It was crooked and it was just, yeah, it was bad. 2 huge disclaimers that I have. Number 1, I am not fully healed yet. It takes 6 to 8 weeks to be healed, so I am still swollen. That's a big thing I want to mention. I'm still not 100% done right here on my cheeks. I'm also swollen right here. My chin is a little swollen, and also I'm still numb right here. Crazy a month later, but it's actually very, very common and actually normal to be numb weeks later on. Some people actually, you know, it takes like 6 months for the feeling to come back. It's actually much better than even a week ago. Also, my upper left lip is numb. So it's like when I smile, it's dead. Like it's like this, just because it's still numb. Like I still feel like I have swelling right here going on still, which is really annoying. And I also still feel my scar tissue around my mouth. So if you guys notice that I'm talking a little bit weird, of course, but all down here just feels very tight inside of my gums because they cut the inside of my mouth. All around here was the incision. Literally, I feel scar tissue right here inside. I also have scar tissue right here. So this is a little bit weird feeling too. So if you guys notice that my face kind of changes a little bit throughout my videos, it's because of that. This procedure that I had was a medical procedure. This was not cosmetic, despite what people might think. And my insurance obviously covered the surgery because it was a medical procedure. Insurance doesn't cover double jaw surgery if it's cosmetic. They just don't allow it. Although they do say that it does benefit your face. Aesthetically, it looks better than before. It definitely has changed my life. Like, you guys have no idea. It definitely made it super difficult to eat throughout my life, especially the last few years, because as you get older, it gets worse, you know? And it definitely happened to me. If you look at my older videos, you'll see like my jaw just kind of start changing. And yeah, it was happening to me. So it definitely made it so hard to eat. My teeth never touched correctly. So I would always, you know, just not really chew correctly. So it made me have indigestion issues all the time, which I had no idea it was because of that until my surgeon, you know, told me. But it makes sense. It was so hard to bite on a burger when your jaw is literally like really off. Another major thing that I hated was the fact that I could never breathe through my nose. It sucked. Like, I was always used to it. It's because it's all I knew, you know. I was always used to breathing with my mouth. I was always a mouth breather. I would sleep like with my mouth open all the time. I think I've mentioned it to you guys too. Like, it always felt like I had something in my nose. Like, it just could never get a full breath. And if I tried to sleep with my mouth closed, it would just feel like I was suffocating. Now, the reason for that is because since my upper jaw was farther back, it was actually pressing and kind of putting pressure on my nasal cavity, which caused me to not really breathe properly through my nose. Literally the day of surgery, or the day I came out of surgery, it was awesome, like getting to breathe through my nose. It's crazy, I could never do this before. That alone, the fact that I can finally breathe properly through my nose is worth it in and of itself. It's just like, it's so cool to, I don't know, to be able to breathe. I feel so much better. Like, just, it's really cool. But I'll show you guys profile. Still a little swollen, like I said, but you guys get the picture. Before it would like come out, right? Weird, right? Here's my right side. So it's crazy. Obviously, I have, you know, braces, and I still have my surgical hooks, which I can't wait till those are off. They're actually gonna come off on Saturday, and I'm counting the days. They're basically hooks that I have on top of braces, so I have like double metal in my mouth. And the surgical hooks are there for after surgery. They use rubber bands to keep your mouth shut. So I was rubber banded shut, and that's why I have like extra metal in my mouth. But like I said, that comes off on Saturday, and I can't wait. So I'm just really excited to finally have my smile match how I feel, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm sure you're wondering how everything went down. I like details, so I'm gonna get into details. So you have to get braces, and it takes like, for me, it took 1.5 years before I got my surgery. So what they do, my orthodontist and my maxillofacial surgeon, they kind of work together in preparation for surgery. And then once I was given the green light to go, once my jaw was like done, I guess, growing, and my teeth were as straight as they can be so far, there's a ton of x-rays that they have to take, really cool x-rays, like just so they can know exactly like the millimeters and exactly how they're going to, you know, correct your bite and everything, just to get everything. And my surgery date was May 19th, 2000, and of course this year. And mind you, this is a pretty common surgery as well. There's so many cases, you know, every year. I will say though, a week prior to my surgery, I was eating everything that I can find. I was eating sushi, pizza, burgers, chips, chocolate, cookies. I was like, I don't want healthy stuff because I know that I'm gonna, you know, not be able to chew for weeks afterwards. I'm like, I have to just binge on food. It is week 4 today, and I still can't chew my food. You guys wanna know my diet? Beans, like mashed beans, tiny pieces of egg, mashed potatoes, soups, although I'm sick of soup now. Whoa. And I have like 2-3 more weeks until I can finally start eating again. So I was pretty happy that I did that. Now my surgery call time was at 6 a.m. I believe. This is really happening today. Okay, so we are, hey guys, so I'm on my way to Loma Linda East Campus Center for my double jaw surgery, my corrective jaw surgery. So what's up? 5:20, it's 5:20 a.m. I haven't had anything to drink or eat since, well, actually not too long ago, since midnight. But yeah, I'm excited, a little bit, you know, jitters, but pre-surgery jitters, which is normal, you know. I don't know what to say. I'm just kind of like, it's just really happening now. We're here. Oh my god, it's starting to feel real. Tear come and go so quick. That day I had to, like I said, check in at 6 a.m. I had to fill out paperwork. And then around like an hour later, I think it was 7 a.m., I had to go to a waiting room where they had other patients that were going to have surgery, like other types of surgery.
Before surgery, just chill. We heard his doctor was really good here. High recommendation. Yeah.
So we were there, and then a nurse came in and, you know, just started asking me a bunch of questions in terms of like just last minute things like allergies, and kind of telling me what to expect when I wake up from surgery, and just, you know, the rundown. And then after that, my anesthesiologist came in, and she was very serious, but I made her laugh. And they hooked me to the IV, and they actually gave it to me in my vein right here, which didn't really hurt at all. And it was really cool because the nurse that was there with me, she had the same surgery done with the same surgeon. They were pretty much ready for surgery around 8:30, and around 8 a.m. was when they started wheeling me through the hallway and wheeling me to the surgery room. And they finally wheeled me into the surgery room, and there was just a bunch of surgeons and like nurses, and my surgeon was there with like my pictures on the wall with like my x-rays, and it all happened so fast, you guys. Like, I just remember like moving to the other table, and then they're like, all right, you know, just relax, and, you know, just take deep breaths in, just, you know, I don't even remember what they said, but honest to God, 15 seconds later when she said that, knocked out. My surgery took 3.5 hours, and yeah, I just woke up and I was already in the ICU with like a nurse. Now that day, it was such a blur to me after surgery.
Tired.
So what they did, you know, when I was under, they basically detach the upper jaw. So they cut, I know it's pretty gnarly, so if you guys are, they basically cut up here with a surgical saw, and they bring it like, I don't know how many millimeters, but they bring your upper jaw slightly forward, and then they screw it together with titanium screws and titanium plates. And on top of that, they also widened my jaw a little bit. I don't know how they did that, but I had to wear a surgical splint for 3 weeks. So I had basically like a cast on the roof of my mouth for like 3 weeks. And then for the lower jaw, they basically cut a little bit of bone from each side. I think it's like around here. And they actually bring it slightly back. And then they also screw it with titanium plates. It's pretty crazy. So I have metal in my mouth. I'm a robot. And my surgeon also added a little bit of bone, I think he said, to my chin. So that is what happened under surgery. And like I said, when I woke up in the ICU, I was very out of it. I had like a gauze or whatever. What do you call that? Like, it was just basically wrapped, and my mouth was bandaged shut. But even if I wanted to talk, I just couldn't. I had no movement in my mouth. I don't remember much of that day when I woke up, because mind you, I think I woke up around like 12 p.m. and from 12 p.m. to like 7 p.m. it was just such a blur. I was in and out of sleep, and I was fine. I had no pain whatsoever. I was under a bunch of drugs, obviously, so I had literally no pain. And yeah, I just remember like the nurse coming in and out, obviously checking up on me in the ICU, because they really want to make sure you're doing well, you know, because it is a massive surgery, so they have to keep checking up on you. Now around 7 p.m., like I said, I started kind of coming back to my senses. Hey, what's up? That's how I had to communicate to my nurse and my mom, my brother, my dad. I just had to literally talk to them through notepad. I was in the hospital for actually a complete day. So I had to stay overnight, and I left the next morning at 11 a.m. I had to drink through a syringe. Like, my water had to be through the syringe with like a long silicone type of straw. And I had to like jam it in the back of my mouth and drink water. That's how I would stay hydrated. That night, they took me, the nurse, I had to walk around the hospital like 3 laps. Every time I got up, literally my nose would bleed the whole time, which is obviously normal because the surgery takes place, you know, they do surgery like right here, you know, so it's normal to have a bunch of blood, you know, that's kind of like up there. By the way, side note, I'm wearing a hat because last time I got a haircut was pre-surgery, so my hair is just super long. I'm actually getting a haircut tomorrow, which would make me feel like so much more like myself, which I'm excited about. The first day of the surgery, I wasn't swollen at all. I was completely normal. And the next day, when they took off the, I was like, holy crap. Like, I looked so swollen. I had a big old bruise right here. I told the surgeon, like, I was trying to tell him that I looked swollen. And he's like, oh, it's gonna be worse tomorrow and the next day. Just prepare yourself. I'm like, how is it gonna get worse? Well, he was right. Day 3 and 4, man, I was so swollen that I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I looked like Fat Albert, or I looked like I had a fat suit on. I had no chin, I had no neck. For anyone that's gonna have the surgery, I don't wanna sugarcoat it. First week is very hard. Just gonna be straight up, it is definitely very difficult. The weird thing is that it's not really painful. It's more of uncomfortable. Like, I felt pressure all around here. But definitely, like I said, no sharp pains, nothing really painful, just very uncomfortable. Because think about it, your face is swollen like a balloon, so my face was super swollen, which obviously makes it difficult to sleep. Mind you, you have to sleep elevated for like 2-3 weeks, so I had to sleep at a 90-degree angle. I got very little sleep the first 3 days. Also, you can't eat. You know, you're just on a liquid diet for like 3-4 days, and your body is just, you know, recovering itself, so like all your energy is just consumed into healing your bone and your jaw. So it is definitely a whirlwind of emotions, but I don't want to scare you guys and say it was horrible, because it's worth it. That's why I just really recommend having a support system, a really good support system around you. Just be very positive and think that it's just a short period of time where you're going to be really uncomfortable, and it's gonna, you know, pass. And someone like me that's used to, you know, going out, working and working out, everything, I couldn't do anything of that. I couldn't do anything. And the first few days, I couldn't even concentrate on TV. For me, at least, I'm only speaking from my experience. Everyone heals differently, but like, yeah, I was really out of it for the first few days. I was still present. I just felt out of it, if that makes sense. Just like weak. If you guys are gonna have the surgery, have someone help you for the first 3 to 4 days. Those are the hardest. After day 6, it gets much easier, but definitely have someone like stay in your house. This surgery has tested my patience unlike any other thing in life, because it's a long recovery. You know, I'm still 4 weeks post-op. It's been a whole month and I'm not done yet. But obviously, like, I'm way better. My energy's back to normal. I can go out now. I can eat more, of course, more like mushy foods, but I can at least eat stuff, you know? And I'm going to the gym now, which is really helping me out a lot. I will never, ever take chewing and talking for granted, because I couldn't talk properly for like a week and a half. It's definitely a process, and every day there's changes. Oh, and also, if you guys are having the surgery, make sure to go out for daily walks. That really helps a lot too with swelling. Very, very grateful and very just excited, and I don't regret it. And even though I'm not fully healed yet, like I said, and I'm still swollen, I'm going to start filming again and coming back to YouTube, because I just miss it so much. On the surgery day, I posted a Snapchat and like Instagram story, and I got flooded with a bunch of messages from you guys just wishing me luck and wishing me a you know, good recovery. And you guys have no idea how much that helped me that night in the hospital. I think it was like 3 hours that I spent just reading and replying to all of you, and it just means the world. Honestly, it just meant so much to me, and it's something I'll never forget, I guess. Just feeling your guys' vibe, and it just meant so much to me, so thank you guys so much. With that being said, I think that is basically it for today's video. I know it was probably the longest video I've ever filmed. If you have any questions, let me know down below. I'll be happy to answer them. And I wish you guys the best. So good to be back on YouTube. All right, bye.